Am I the only one who thinks that Greek mythology resembles a bad high school anime? You have a bunch of de facto superpowered hormonal teenagers with poor impulse control and extreme mood swings who don't even have the excuse of being minors and therefore having limited legal responsibility. There is so much juvenile melodrama and stupid personal vanity-driven scheming, it makes me wince, and I don't think I'm particularly special in that regard. And that is even without going into extremely poor taste promiscuity. Genealogy is in the toilet, even relationship status is complicated. Now that I think of it, Greek deities could really do with a kindergarten teacher. Or more accurately, an editor. That's what happens when a series is written by dozens of different authors belonging to generations hundreds of years apart from each other and who can never ever agree upon anything. I suppose it makes sense to see deities as plain superhumans with vices and flaws just like us, because it makes them at least somewhat relatable and understandable, except being able to invoke some sort of supernatural phenomena part. Today, most religions profess the belief in a being that cannot be imperfect. But maybe, just maybe, we project our present biases and convictions onto people from 2000 plus years ago who might have followed a very different set of ideals and logic. Maybe we fundamentally misunderstand the nature of faith from so long ago because the context is just so alien. Maybe, just maybe, ancient peoples didn't really believe in these colorful figures. Maybe it was just an exercise in amusement, trying to conceptualize what would happen if nature went to war with the underworld, or what if the sun tried to get it on with the ocean. It could be an attempt to understand nature in a pre-scientific society, or it could be an advanced poo post. How can we be sure that ancient people referred to a deity as a person and not an abstract concept? What if they had the same word for both a god and a phenomenon? If they said something like, "May Neptune favor you," did they mean, "May the old bearded moody guy with a trident living in the abyssal depths smile upon your ship and not move his weapon too much in your general direction"? Or did they literally mean something as trivial as, "May water favor you," or even an extremely mundane, "I hope the weather is calm"? This assignment of personhood and personality traits to inanimate objects and even abstract concepts is something we are extremely proficient at. We can personify a Mars rover. Why wouldn't we anthropomorphize something much more familiar, like the ocean or the moon? Of course we would, and I'm sure people had done so. Numerous times, in fact. It's not a stretch to imagine someone thinking of the natural order and being overwhelmed with gratitude for all the bountiful gifts we receive from her. He decided to give his thoughts shape, and so he painted or sculpted her in the way that was familiar to him. Maybe it was just an elation, maybe there was nothing mystical about it. But maybe then others saw it and said, "Hey, this is amazing, let's follow this thing, but unironically." Or maybe the story was a much sadder one. Maybe someone grew disenchanted with the imperfections of humans and conceptualized the ideal, the perfect human. An archetype that was appealing to him personally. Maybe it was a woman who never made any mistakes. He liked the notion because he noticed that others rarely reflect on their own actions and thoughts, instead relying on habit or instructions. Maybe he really liked the ocean. He liked how easy it was to find food in there, how many shiny things were in there, how easy water makes travel, how pleasant swimming is, and how nice she smells. If he could, he would never go on land again. This fanatical positive selection, this craving of an ideal concept can go truly beyond what we today call worship, even without formal rites and rituals. I guess it's just an obsession. You want to know everything about the subject. He got better and better at fishing and swimming, he pondered minute nuances, and in time managed to get extraordinary results in water. And then, again, others misunderstood his sentiments and started aping him without understanding the underlying concepts. In fact, probably happened plenty of times. And to complicate things even more, let's not forget that most Greeks didn't pick just one deity to pray to. Having just one patron would be extremely short-sighted and needlessly restrict your options in life. Why would you do that except to introduce a stupid, divisive, downright tribal element that would only sow conflict between followers of different deities, being absolutely sure that they were the only ones who knew what they were doing? No, you wouldn't play sectarian nonsense. Most people offered prayers and sacrifices to various deities depending on circumstances, as one should. Oh, I need to build a house. Let's pray to Demeter. Oh, I need to do big business where a lot of money will change hands. Why not pray to Demeter? I need to go to war? Guess what? Demeter. I mean, really? Why would you do this to yourself? Of course you wouldn't, because you know that context is everything and one worldview cannot possibly apply in all circumstances. So, is there any way we can determine how popular was the belief in the supernatural versus describing the mundane? First of all, it's definitely difficult without speaking Greek, and I don't speak Greek. Certainly, the mystical and the material, feeling and reason interweave. And if something is important enough, its touch can certainly feel mystical. Maybe thousands of years ago, the difference was unimportant. Alright, let's bust the dictionary out. How about Athena? Could it be that the goddess's name was literally wisdom? If so, it would be very difficult to distinguish. It has no underlying meaning. It's literally just a cognate of Athens, and likely the city's name came first. Alright, maybe Poseidon. Much sad, but no. It comes from Posis, meaning husband or lord, and Da, meaning earth. So the name isn't even water related. Alright, let's try Zeus. The name is quite old, originating from Proto-Indo-European speak, but the way ancient Greeks used it meant sky or shine. Alright, so if I said, may Zeus favor you on your journey, it could literally mean, may sky bless you with nice weather. Let's try one more. Why not Hades? It literally means unseen. Yes, the unseen one, not the concept of unseen-ness or invisibility or imperceptiveness. Although, admittedly, Hades did own a cup of invisibility. Alright, I actually dug up some more that could support my working hypothesis. In Greek mythology, the primordial deities are the first generation of gods and goddesses. These deities represented the fundamental forces and physical foundations of the world and were generally not actively worshipped, as they, for the most part, were not given human characteristics. They were instead personifications of places or abstract concepts, as opposed to those that were built temples. Oh dear. Well, I suppose ancient peoples did indeed unironically bow to supernatural persons. I thought maybe polytheism made it easier to be in on the joke and worship the subject of your fascination instead of worshipping a sacred mystery, i.e. your own ignorance. Only fiction can be perfect, and I think we should finally admit that. Nonetheless, I think it's amusing to think of ancient deities as waifus that got out of control, and I'm absolutely going to anthropomorphize the Tartarus out of every abstract concept as an attractive woman. Obviously, because why would anyone come up with any other visualization is itself an abstract concept to me. Let's part with well-wishing that I think makes sense. May you never need to be fortuitous on your journey, for Fortuna is a whimsical woman and you should never introduce any form of randomness into your life, unless for amusements such as playing dice, where you don't bet anything of real value. And if you think my AI-generated imagery is pleasant to look at, you should visit my Twitter/X, where I post lots of such art that I think is good enough to share. Thank you all, and keep it real.